You've landed inside the bubble with Harli G, a podcast for the superwoman. I am a mother, wife, and ambitious career woman who realized one day that part of me was unfulfilled. I launched this platform to help other women discover and walk in their ultimate purpose through shared stories of trials, fear, dreams, courage, grief, and triumph. No matter who you are or where you're from, there's purpose in your story. Insiders, Inside the Bubble with Harli G is sponsored by BetterHelp. As a partner of this episode, listeners can access the BetterHelp link located in the show notes to receive 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp and get matched with a therapist who will listen and help. Therapy has been such an integral part of my purpose journey, and I'm sure it will benefit your journey as well. Go to BetterHelp, that is betterhelp.com/inside the bubble to get started. This episode is also brought to you by Farmers Insurance. When was the last time you reviewed your insurance policy? Like who does that? Or when was the last time you could call your insurance agent directly with an emergency? Well, I was actually able to do that. 2 years ago, my garage caught on fire, and I was able to pick up the phone and talk to the one and only Austin Brummett on the phone immediately. There's nothing like peace of mind knowing that you are talking directly to the agent. So my friends at the Austin Brummett Agency would love to hear from you and provide you with the same amazing service that they provided me. Give them a call at 678-402-8262 or email them at abrummett@farmersagent.com. Lastly, are you thinking about buying a car but dreading the process? I will tell you that's why I have a husband, so he can handle all of that. But Car Official is changing the game. Car Official believes the car buying process should be transparent, informative, and even, wait for it, enjoyable. Their experts are here to guide you, provide you with clear information, and honest advice. No fancy jargon, no pressure, just a helping hand every step of the way. Whether it's understanding your financing options, getting clarity on fees, or simply finding the perfect car for your needs, they've got you covered. Visit them today and see the difference for yourself at 770-627-4296 or at www.carofficial.net. Welcome as we continue with season 3 of Inside the Bubble with Harli G. Today I have I'm just going to call you a powerhouse, Jacquese Lane, who actually has shared her story previously on the pod about her health journey. And so today we're just going to take a deeper dive into really talking about purpose and faith. And when I was thinking about who to bring on for this series, like you were like number 2. Somebody beat you to number 1, but you were number 2. That's a good ranking, right? Somebody has to be second there, but it was just absolute certainty that you were going to come on and share that story that you have. And so I'm really excited, and I thank you for coming today and honoring you with your presence and your story. So, Jacquese, tell the listeners a little bit about you and who you are.
So I am a girl from the country. Literally grew up with deer and cow and all types of animals in the backyard. A small city called Sardis, very much so rep Sardis, yay. And I have been on a journey of discovery for not only my purpose, just in, of course, ministry, but my purpose as a business owner and entrepreneur in the corporate sector. What does that look like? So it's been a journey, and I am the owner of J Lane & Co. Styling, the Forgiven brand, as well as the Single Spot. And I am wrapping up my first book with my father. So yeah.
You're writing a book. Oh my! So you heard it here. You're writing a book with your father. What is? Can you tell us a little bit about what the book
Uh,
is going to be about?
No, so basically it's a story from I picked some people with very powerful testimonies and different things they've been through, and I am teaching how to walk through that and lessons we've learned. And the book starts with my own health journey, and just talking about the things and discovering emotional stuff, the spiritual side, the natural side, just the layers. Because I think a lot of times we all have our own story, and there's layers to that story, and it unravels differently. No two situations are ever the same. So I picked some people from colorism, failure as a super successful woman, a Black woman in corporate sector. A friend, one of my friends, one of my best friends is a lesbian, and so we dive into that journey for her and coming out of the church and then transitioning. So it's a lot of stuff in the book, and we're just unpacking that. And I think it's going to be awesome. And then sharing another book with my dad as well, talking about my health journey, but from a father's perspective. So,
So with the first, so why your dad? Why him?
um,
You could have picked your sister. You could have picked your mom. You could have picked anyone, right? But why your dad?
my dad is my hero. I think what's important for a lot of people is my dad has saved my life many times over, not just in the natural sense, but also in a spiritual sense. My dad has been just a very influential man in my life. And I think like I love my mom, I love my sister, like I am very close with a lot of people, but my dad has been the example of an exemplary father, a man of integrity. He's beat so many odds. He is the first African American mayor ever in our city. And, you know, he's just been able to break that glass ceiling. And he's just been the guy that I'm like, man, if there's anyone I want to like be a duplicate of, it's going to be my father because he is just a phenomenal man.
That's amazing to have that relationship, but j- to have that spiritual connection, relationship with him as well. So, and you're a PK. Yeah. So all of that. So I could just imagine how many layers this book is going to have. So we're really excited. So when is this supposed to come out?
We are doing our final run through, and then I'm sending it off to the editor next month, and hopefully we'll be dropping right after that.
Okay, so definitely we'll be on the lookout for that.
It's called dropping F bombs.
What?
As a Christian, doesn't that just sound good? Yeah.
I am here for it. I am here for it. Okay. Oh my goodness. Even just the title, like, who wouldn't want that, right? So, okay. I'm excited. Well, thank you for sharing that.
For sure.
Absolutely. Oh, you heard it here. Thank you. I heart you. Okay. So, I want to talk, and you mentioned it, how important, how much this faith, this spiritual journey grounds you, right? And we're going to get into your purpose journey as well, because it sounds like you're still discovering it as well. Or do you feel like, if I was to ask you the question on purpose, do you feel like you're there, you're on that journey, or do you feel like you're still discovering it, or you're like, I kind of know what it is?
I know what it is.
Okay.
I'm very clear on that. I think the beautiful part about the journey that I am on, though, is I'm learning so much about myself. One of the things, and I said I wasn't going to share with anyone outside of my family, but I feel safe here. So I am a person who has struggled with connection often. I struggle with societal things, just in large crowds. I feel very uncomfortable, and everyone's always shocked because I'm such a big personality and I'm such a people person. But it is very uncomfortable for me, and I'm super direct in my communication. I don't try to be offensive, but sometimes I am, and I just don't understand it. So I did some deep studies on just things psychologically, just how the mind works. And so I got tested recently and found out that I'm autistic. And it's been so comforting to know that there's a reason why I struggle and there's a reason why I respond to the things the way that I do. And it's been just and I'm super, everyone's like, gosh, you're so smart. I just don't know how you operate on that level. Like, you're so smart. And it's always felt just uncomfortable. And so I'm learning about myself, and I'm learning about my personality and things that affect me and how that has aligned with the purpose God has called for me to have. So it's so interesting because as I'm carrying out my walk in purpose and the call in my life, I'm also doing like self healing and the work inside. And it's like, ah, bombs, like it's going off everywhere, and it's like this makes so much sense for my life. And now I know why God has placed me in the position that he has, just from corporate to ministry and church itself, and with my personal endeavors. It just makes so much sense. And I was sharing with a few people that I am very, very close with about that journey, because I just found out. Let's just talk about it. I literally just found out this week.
This
And
week. So what emotions have that taken you through?
I'm excited.
You are.
Everyone keeps asking, how do you feel? People don't understand autism. And there's so many different places on the spectrum that you fall. And for me, it's just like, man, I know why things are uncomfortable. And I'm very organized and things belong where they belong. And it's just like, why am I this way? Like, what is why do I get so uncomfortable with certain things? And now I know, so I can learn how to treat that and cope with that. Because little things, and my sister's always like, why does that bother you so much? I have a lot of like medical stuff in my house because of my health condition. And so she borrows some of my things whenever she's not feeling well. And I'm very specific, put it back where you found it and the way that you got it. If you don't know how to pack it back correctly, communicate and I'll do it. But don't put it up and it's not correct. And it literally sends me through. Like,
So what happens? Like, it's not just oh my gosh, she didn't put it there again. Like, what happens?
it's a discussion. Like, we got to talk about it. I am frustrated because you know how I am. You know how I like my things. And if you weren't able to put it back in the way that you found it, why did you not say anything to me? Like, it bothers me. And I'm like, it shouldn't. It should not bother me to that level, but it does. And now I know why. And so it's like, now I can learn to cope with it because I understand why it frustrates me and what I need to do to respond better in those situations, and also teach those around me how to love me the right way, because now you understand how I operate. So it's exciting for me. Like, how are you feeling? And my mom was like, you don't seem autistic. First of all, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, clearly you need to educate yourself, but we're not going to go there. But I was just like, and I know my family. Like, they come from, it's all out of a good place. But my family, like, we probably all on the spectrum, if I'm honest. But, like, we're on FaceTime. She's like, because you don't seem autistic. But I'm like, because what? And so, like, I'm talking to her and I'm like, there are so many different things. And I'm discussing all of the pieces of like why I tested and why I knew it was a problem. And I'm like, it's such a large list, but out of the test, it's like you can go up to like 25 with the test that I took, and it's like I'm at 19. So I was explaining to her like the different things, and she was like, "Oh my God, I just thought you were made like I'm blunt, and and we're just talking." And I'm like, "No, but I don't know that I'm like I literally don't know that sometimes my words are piercing because it's just common for like, because why did you do that?" And like I was in a meeting with my director one day at work, and it just was not going anywhere. And the conversation was doing this. So I said to him, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I didn't agree, I don't agree, and I won't agree. So you can just have your 30 minutes back. Let's just wrap the conversation. And I just didn't think anything was wrong with that because I'm not going to waste my time, but I'm not going to waste your time. And everyone's like, oh my God, I would have just been so broke and I would have thought about it for that. I said what I said, and I don't mean anything by it. And everyone's like, I get why you did that, but he probably was like, Lord, this girl. And I'm just like, but why? But for me, why waste your time? Why go in circles? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But that's all. I'm not interested in what I'm not interested in. And that is a part of autism. So, just going through it and having that conversation. And then my dad was like, well, you can just come sit on my couch. And I was like, man of God. And then he said, but maybe I'm autistic too. It just started unraveling. And then I told my brother, and my brother was like, I don't know, maybe I'm autistic because and I was like, all of you are on the spectrum. Like, at this point, the whole family. Okay, let's just stop right here. Everyone's on the spectrum. And so I'm just like, and bless my sister's heart. We were first having the conversation, and she was just like, why are you trying to self-diagnose yourself? Like, why are you looking? I'm like, I have been thinking about this for a while. And my cousin, this is what she is in. She's actually in her, getting her master's in this type of thing. And so I've been talking to her about it. And she was like, I can see different things, how you're on the spectrum, And I'm like, I'm going to get tested. And she was like, I just didn't know, like, it was a thing for you. And I'm like, it is. But if I'm telling you something, it's because like I research everything, but some things stick out to me. So then after I told her that the test came back and yes, I'm on the spectrum, um, we were talking. I was like, oh, I think some people may have this, and I could just identify different things. And we were talking about one particular person, and she was like, oh yeah, they may be autistic, but man, they're slow. I know she didn't mean anything by it. I knew what she was trying to say, and I just stopped fixing my taco. It said, daughter. And she said that I didn't, oh my God, I can hear it out loud. That's horrible. And I'm like, you suck as a sister. I need you to understand you are terrible. And she was like, did that hurt you? I said, yes, but we're moving on because I'm not in a place to have that conversation with you. I love you. I know you didn't mean it, but let's just go on.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt you like you just hurt me.
Oh, bless your heart.
But then you also don't want to be like, you on the spectrum.
Yeah, you
like, it's just like... Because what does autism look like, so it's just been fun learning. And I think like now, like when I'm telling people like you are made like the way you're supposed to be. And because you're different doesn't mean that it's a problem, because I have such influence in the corporate sector and just my personal life, like, and I have always struggled. And my brother was like, I just don't get how you struggle in social environments, because I've learned how to cope and I've learned how to maneuver. But all of my friends will tell you, in a room of people that I don't know, baby, because why are you talking to me? I don't feel comfortable. I don't know you. So it's just a thing. And it's just because it makes me very uncomfortable, and it's a reason now. I get it.
So you seem to be wide open to this journey. You're embracing this newfound discovery, and as a result of it, how does faith play into all of this?
My faith, my beliefs, it is literally the core of who I am. And I think the biggest like defining moment for me was like realizing that I don't have my faith by way of my parents and their relationship. It's personal. It's an individual journey. And because I've built that relationship with God and I know my beliefs, I know what he's called me to. I know that what he went through, his journey he was stretched. And when I find myself feeling low, or I feel lost, or I'm very confused, or it's like, God, I'm talking to you and you're not being clear. Or like with my health journey, it's like, God, like you said you were going to heal me. Okay. And I needed to be on earth and not in heaven. I need it now. So I have to go back and remind myself of the principles that I've learned, the principles that I've witnessed, people who has lived with their faith out loud. My grandmother, my father, my mom, they've all had their own journey. And I'm just reminded of like who God is. Like he's my friend. He's the lover of my soul. He is my healer. He's my sustainer. So when I feel lost, like I can always find myself in him because he created me, and who else to go to who knows you better than the man who literally created you. And sometimes I don't understand why I have to go through what I go through. I don't understand, like, because God, you really could be doing better right now. And like, I don't know why you picked me. People feel like they can, like, Lord, in the name of Jesus.
You're like, nope, that's not how we talk.
Because God.
No.
I'd be like, let's take a minute, Lord. So I talked to him in the shower because I just feel most exposed to him. When I, like, unashamed. Every roll on my body, every crevice. So right here in this place, I'm talking, and I talk to God just like that. Mm-hmm. And he knows, he created me, like he knows. And I'm not a person who just be like, because God, I'm struggling. I'm like, God, listen, I'm tired. Okay, my side hurts for the third time today. Deliver me. If you're not, put me to sleep. Because I'm tired. I got to take a drink, girl. It's water, but it'll do.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. But this is why you are such an amazing person. Because you're just like, there's keeping it real, and then there's you. because you just like, no, you are raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's this is gonna be it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Take me as I am. You know what I mean? Like I am 37 and I have lived a lot of life, and everyone's like 37. I have lived a lot of life. You know, I've always had a life that seemed beyond its years. At 37, I've almost died quite a few times. Um, Literally, I have witnessed death more times over in my family than I should have. I was in middle school planning a service and identifying my uncle's dead body. So I've learned through all of this that like I was built for this. I love me. I love who I am. And you take me or you don't. I don't want to conform. I want to be authentically me because that version of me is what helps everyone else. If I can't show up for me, I definitely can't show up for you.
You are so right. So what does faith mean to you?
Everything. Faith, like I believe that you have to believe in something. And my something is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. That something is seeing and feeling God be a way maker for me. Like I said, I almost died many times. One time, which we've talked about, I don't even know how I made it. Well, I mean, no, but just coming out of it, the doctors are like, you should be brain dead. You should not be able to walk the way that you're walking. Like you are a medical mystery because what your body went through and the fact that you're up, going, and you're normal, for what normal is. Um, you know, I like if I've seen a miracle and I've been a miracle, and that's, you know what I mean, it's different when it's personal. You know what I mean? Like I can get up because he got up. I can go because he went. Faith for me is everything that what's not tangible I know can still happen. What's not right here I know is still possible. Faith for me is knowing that he is greater, and because he's greater I'm greater. So there's nothing I cannot conquer. There's nothing I cannot do because the Lord God himself simply made it possible. And when you have that type of belief and you know who's guiding you, you know who's pushing you and who's covering you, it's easy to do everything else. Because who gonna come up against my God? Nobody. Try to take him down.
Oh, I'm not. That's not gonna be me.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you can't get him, you can't get me. You can try.
Oh.
You know, when you know that and you have a foundation and you know what drives you, I'm a healer. I know that I have the gift of healing. I also know that I have the ability to walk you through the healing process and journey. So when I have that foundation, it's very easy for me. It was uncomfortable in the beginning, um, you know, but now it just is what it is.
Can you share an experience when that you went through and that you felt like as a result of that experience it really tested your faith?
My aunt Olivia, um, was and still is, such an inspiration and was such a big part of my life. And like I've seen people in my life get sick and have cancer and, you know, bounce back or die. Oh, that sounds terrible. But my aunt, I just knew she was gonna be healed here on earth. You know, my aunt was we used to have a group called Branches of Destiny, and my aunt was like the lady who went with us everywhere. She was planning to go on tours with us and be our personal chef. And like whenever I had an event, she was the person who handled all of my like financials, and like she was just everything. And then when she got sick, like I was going through my own health journey. And at that time, we didn't know what was wrong with me. We didn't know why I was getting so sick. So we were like, she knew what was wrong. Like she didn't know what was wrong. She just knew how I felt. So I could go to her. And I was just like, God, you're gonna heal her. And like everyone was like, she's gonna live. She's gonna live. And I was just like, she gonna live. And I was like, God, like I put all I had into that situation. Like, and then it got better. And I was like,
There you go. God answers prayers.
and then it got worse. And when it got worse, it went into literally the pit of hell. It was dark. And when I started seeing her deteriorate, and I don't know if you know what's called the surge, is when someone is right at death's door. They have like a sudden burst of energy and they feel great. And, my aunt had that. She came to church and she was like, I don't feel great. And literally that next week she died. And my family had put time, prayer, money, just like, she is going to live. And I was like, God, like, you are a healer, so heal. Like, I know you can. And everyone kept saying, she's going to live, she's going to live. And she died. And I was broken. But I didn't know how to let that out because I still did praise and worship at her service. I still helped to plan the funeral. I helped to coach her children and get them through it and be there and take over the finances, just do what needed to be done. I didn't allow myself to mourn. And then it just kept getting heavy. And then I got frustrated with God because I was like, I'd never been disappointed by God before. And that's a big thing because we know God to be a way maker, miracle worker, all the things. And God has, like, even with my own health journey, I never prayed for myself. I just was like, God gonna heal me. Boom. Everyone else did the praying. I never asked God for anything up to that point. Like, I think I'd just been that, God is great and life had been good. And so I really was praying and asking God. I was like, I've never asked you for a single thing before. Nothing. Everyone else did the asking on my behalf, but I'm asking you to heal her. We've been dedicated as a family. We've done our work. We've been in the sand. We've been in the trenches. So now I'm asking you, heal my aunt. And he didn't. And that I didn't know how to feel that. It was like a storm for me. What and I was in Bible study one night, and one of the women there, I was talking about how I just couldn't put words to my feelings. And she was like, because you're disappointed in God. And I was like, no, I ain't. Yes, I am. And that's a hard place to be in, is when the person who's always been there, has always been your rock, disappoints you. And it's like, it's such a, like, how does God disappoint? Because the will of God, like, he's perfect. His word is perfect. He's infallible. Like, God is God. So he doesn't have the ability to disappoint. And I'm like, God, I'm so disappointed in you because I've never asked you for anything. And I remember having a conversation with my best friend Lashana, and she was just like, but God honored, we don't know what her request was. And God is never going to honor your request above what she desires. And my aunt had said she was tired. And so I was disappointed in the fact that what I wanted didn't come to pass, but I had prayed the will of God, and that was his will. And he did what I asked. But my desire in her being here on earth was bigger to me than him honoring her request. And the fact of the matter is, she's living here forevermore in heaven. So the word it wasn't a lie. It just felt like it. And that I struggled. I'm leading praise and worship, and I don't really care about what I'm saying. I'm ministering to people and helping them through their situations. Like, God, he's perfect. And I'm like, but you're not. Like, I'm literally ministering from a broken place, a dead place. And I'm out here telling everybody else that God is this amazing father when he didn't feel like a good father. And so that was a struggle.
So how did you turn the corner?
I literally just got real with God. And I think that's where I got to this place where I'm just like, I talk to God how I talk to God. Because I tried to frame it in the perfect Christian packaging. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, God is faithful even if he doesn't do it. And the reality is, let's just be honest, that's not how we feel. Nope. That's not how we feel. And I literally one day God does two things. It's either in the car somewhere or in the shower. And because he knows, that's where, like, I think my guards are down the most in those places because I'm a very controlled person. But I was just like, God, I am very, like, you hurt me. And that pain is something I can't comprehend. And I had to just be very, like, and I don't know what made me, I think I just grew tired of just feeling lost. And I'm like, the conviction of me being up telling you to give God your all when I'm not, or, believe in him when I didn't believe in him, but I didn't believe in him. Mm-hmm. If that made, like, I believed in him, but I didn't. And so I was just riding in the car one day and I was just like, I am so hurt. Like, how with a family who's dedicated their entire life to ministry and community and building and pouring, how could you not? And after I was just 100% transparent and honest and broken, and I don't mean like, oh yeah, I was broken emotionally, but I really was broken before him. And I was just like, honestly, my health journey, none of this has hurt me like my aunt. Like, I could go through 1,000 chemo treatments and it would never feel like when my aunt died. And I just was really honest with him. And I think my family, we're just getting to a point where we're healing from it. My aunt passed away in 2016. It's 2024. And we're just getting to a place where we're like, but that's what it was. Like, one day I was just tired and I just was like, I'm about to tell God off. And you have to take these words. But let's just be honest. I feel like God knows that.
He does.
And he's like,
but he wants to hear you say
that's the part. He wants you to, like, it's always like, cast your burdens unto Jesus. Mm-hmm. And like, it's so cute.
It sounds good.
It is so cute when we're preaching, teaching, and hearing it. It's like, God. But when it's personal and it feels like he's failed you in a personal thing, it hits different. And I literally just got in the car and was like, you suck as a savior. What? But I was hurting, and God knew that, and he wanted my honesty, because once I just got it out, I was immediately lifted. And I was just like, God wants to hear that broken part of you. You know, God, and faith is so, like, faith in God, but faith in, you know, there's so many different places to take that. But like, for me, like, literally, God wants that from us. Like, hear the brokenness, because he already knows it. I don't know why we try to hide from God. I don't know why we try to put on this mask, because he is an, like, all-knowing God. So you know right now I'm disappointed in you. You know you suck to me. So I just need to say it, because he wants to hear that. So I just put it all on the table. I was like, just that fast.
Why do you think we're scared of saying that to him?
Because we're scared of disappointing him. Why do we get scared to do a lot of things? We're scared of failure. We're scared of disappointment. So much. And that's what holds us captive. And I feel like that's why the enemy knows. If he can get us afraid, we'll never. Like, think about how much you're putting into this. It's fear. And it's so much.
There's fear every single step of the way. It's like, I didn't even know how season 3 was going to happen, to be perfectly honest with you. Because the plan that I had set for myself, it completely derailed. It was actually your sister's words that put me on the path. She was like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to make season 3 happen. And when she said that, I was just like, okay. My business manager asked me, once I told her what happened, she was like, so do I go back to, the production manager and tell him? I was like, nope, it's going to happen. Don't know how, but it's going to happen. And you're right. I was so disappointed in my situation. I was actually disappointed that it happened to me. Out of all people, it happened to me. And I was just like, But I was afraid to tell him that, because I felt like it's kind of like that reciprocation thing. Like, if I say it, then he's not going to love me anymore, or he's not going to bless me anymore. He's not going to allow for me. He's not going to do that if I say it out loud. So you're right. It's that fear.
Yeah. And God's not a God of retaliation.
So, you talk about your experience and what you've been through and how this experience specifically impacted you. And so you're at the point where you're finally able to tell God, I'm disappointed and you suck. First of all, wouldn't want to be in the car when you told him that, just because.
Let's talk why. Would it make you uncomfortable? Why?
It would. I'll be completely transparent with you. It would, because even though I know that he does not make mistakes, But I still feel sometimes that I need to show up and say a certain thing to him for him to continue to bless me, for him to continue to give me, for him to I still feel like, ooh, if I present it perfectly the way I think he wants me to do or say it, then he'll bless me. I forget at times that he doesn't want me to package it perfectly. He just wants me. And so yes, I if I was in the car with you having that in seeing this conversation, I would be cringing in the corner.
I think that's such the conditions. Like society has kind of taught us that you got to be perfect to be successful. You have to be perfect to soar and for things to work out. And some of the most beautiful things have come from ashes. And that's where I think true vulnerability and like I don't want to pretend with anyone. I certainly don't want to pretend with my creator. You know what I mean? And I think the best relationships are relationships that have safe spaces and operate with certain levels of vulnerability. And if I can't be safe with you with my feelings, if I can't be safe with you with my fears, like I cannot serve someone I can't trust. So if I can't trust God to take me in my broken place and build me from those broken pieces, then why do I trust? Why do I love you? Why do I serve you? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone of any capacity that I can't trust and I can't be vulnerable with. I don't want to be partnered with or serve or pour into something that does not serve me. So why do that? And I think that's a model and I do think the church teaches us that. Like, even though we say it, we still have that that other thing, And so like I really got on to my parents about something recently where we were talking and my parents kept saying, yeah, because because you got to have a spirit of excellence. Explain to me what that is. What is the spirit of excellence? And tell me how that is a biblical spirit. Like, talk to me about that, because you teach people to operate out of a place like you got to put on the helmet of salvation and have a spirit of excellence. It's not biblical. Because God knows that nothing about us is going to be perfect. And I can have a posture of excellence where I want to serve and I want to do things right. But even when I don't get it right, because my posture of my heart was correct, God still loves that and he honors that. So stop teaching people to be perfect. And like, yes, do your best. Give it your all. That's excellence, is going out, believing in it, trusting in it. If it fails, what was the posture of your heart? And that's where we learn those things, or that's where I learned it. You know what I mean? Like, and we fail to realize, like, even when you're in school, like everything, society teaches us perfection is everything. So when it comes to being vulnerable, I'm going to be vulnerable, but I'm going to do it excellently.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
See how dumb that
It sounds dumb, but I promise you I've done it.
But you get what I'm saying? Like,
promise you I
when
have
you
done
say it out loud, it's like,
that
sounds so crazy. But that's the space we live in. And it's like, no, vulnerability is not always pretty. Like, this entrepreneurial journey, you jumping in and doing Inside the Bubble and Coach to Purpose, like all the things that you're doing, it is literally, you are learning as you go. And you can study, you can have mentors, you can have all the things. But the unique thing about purpose is it's personal. And your journey is not going to look like someone else's. Like, we can create steps and things that we know just generally works, but you will always have to mold and model and shape things based on what your guide is and what your journey is. And we teach ourselves that A did it this way, B did it this way, and it was like phenomenal. And then you find yourself being like, I did it. I got the production team. I got all of the stuff. I did the things. And God, how is season 3 going to happen? I was not expecting to be derailed. I was not expecting for this pivot. And now I'm here. What does that look like? There's no coach that can tell you, and in stage 2 of this journey, at this exact hour,
this is what you.
Bam.
Yes.
That's not how it works. Mm-hmm. And to just do what you're doing is such vulnerability. And you're not doing it privately. Like, you're literally doing this out loud in front of everyone. And you're betting on Harli. And I applaud you, because it's not easy. But you're dedicated to it and you believe in you above anything else. And that's me. It might not work. My first event ever that I did for the single spot, I just knew only 2 people were going to attend. I was like, I'm only doing 10 tickets. It's going to be small and intimate. You know why it's going to be intimate?
And small and intimate sounds so good. Right?
It does, but it was really small and intimate because I was like, child, because if don't nobody show up, nobody going to know because it was small and intimate. Let's call it what it is. You know what I mean? And we packaged it like, oh my God, I'm so excited. It's going to be intimate. It's going to be personal. But I knew, I was like, because if don't nobody show up, I'm not going to be shamed. And when somebody says, how's the event? It was so intimate.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it was.
It's just great.
Exactly.
It's just well put together. Exactly. It was what I wanted. It was 2 people because I said it.
So therefore, he has it figured out.
There you go.
It's not for you to figure out.
At all.
It's for you to follow, for you to be obedient.
It's for me to do the work. And let God take the rest. I literally just told my nephew that. He was like, my finals, I'm stressed, auntie. And I'm like, do your due diligence, do your part. It's the beautiful thing about knowing that God is on your side. You don't have to worry about the rest. God can count on me to do my part. So once I do my part, back to you, Lord. You gave me the plan. I mapped the plan, I walked the plan. It's on you to do the rest. And God had to discipline me there. Because I like control. I need to know how many people.
All the pieces.
What's the size?
Yes.
God is like, girl, stop. Get over yourself. You know what I mean? And like, he will put you in places. I remember when the Lord literally told me, you're going to be a preacher. And I was like, you're a liar. I didn't tell him that, though. At that time, I was still trying to posture myself cute. And my grandma would tell me, she was like, you're going to be a preacher. I was at elementary school. It's like, ciao. And then I was like, okay, Lord, no more running. I'm going to preach. And it came down to the day of the sermon. Like, my brother had did this Facebook post, and he was like, yeah. I was like, take it down. Because what if no one shows up? Me preaching to the chairs. And I'm also not a churchy preacher, so.
So how many people showed up?
It's full. But it was full because we didn't advertise, and that was God. I couldn't say marketing was great. No, God was good.
It was small and intimate.
Like, it was. If ever you hear me say, it is small and intimate, tell me immediately. Come out your feelings, girl. Because that's spirit talking. Although sometimes stuff is real, because I'm doing an event that's going to be small and intimate. But it's purpose that way. Like, it's legit purpose that way. But that small and intimate it will hold me hostage, baby. I will be locked in that small and intimate. Like, what girl come to my event is small and intimate? Because if you don't show up, I meant for it to be that way. Right. Stop playing with me. Oh, the Lord be God. God be God.
He be God. My business manager tells me that all the time.
And God is the best God. Like, there is none better.
There isn't.
And once you know that, like, that's why it's like, I know my purpose. I can do this all day because this is what I do.
Yes.
But now that I know me, like, I can sit here. Like, when I walked in, and is that, what's the young lady with the dress?
Parole.
See, I was going to say that, but then I was like, no, that ain't parole, but it was. Yes. And she was like, hey. I was like, And I saw the people. I said, Lord, take the wheel, Jesus. I'm not going to make it. And I'm like, she's like, we're running behind. I'm like, oh. I literally fought the feeling. Said, cancel me.
No, ma'am.
Cancel me.
No, ma'am.
No, but that was the
which you.
Yeah. Yes. And also knowing that is a part of my personality design. And I know, like, okay, I got this to do. And I'm like, what? My mind just started going.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just cancel me. Just, I ain't got to do it. I love her. I will sit here and support her for the time I was scheduled. And after that, cancel me.
No.
But
we're
I
not part of
literally
that cancel
felt
culture.
that, and then what's so funny is this is small and intimate. Like, love it. But it's so cozy. You know what I mean? Like, it's the people who need to be here are here. You know what I mean? But like, it's just really like you and me.
Yes.
Even though these people are looking at me. It's still small and intimate, and I am fighting through it. Don't you like it? Like, I am showing up for not only you, but for me.
And could no one tell? When you show up, how we're vibing right now, how we are right now, I want you to walk through that door looking like that, acting like that.
Never gonna happen.
And I'm like, I was like, hey, Jacquese. And he was just like,
No, I
and,
said
you know, you did.
it wasn't like
no, it wasn't.
don't
It
zoom
wasn't.
in,
No,
Harley, because
not.
I love you.
I'm not doing. No,
Okay.
what I'm saying is I put on my expectations on you, how I want you to show up, because I know your personality. I was like, I want Jacquese to walk into this door and be like, I am here. What time we recording? I'm ready. Like, I know you'll never do that. But like your personality to me is so big that it's like, that's what I want. That's what I want.
No matter what the room is, I have to warm up.
I-
Even if Lashana, who you know me and Lashana are like
She'll be on
amazing woman, by the way. But even when like I don't care, I have to warm up. It's just not because it is for me so overwhelming. But hopefully, and I won't say it will never happen, because hopefully with treatment and well, not treatment, but therapy, I'll learn how to
manage through it.
yeah,
Work through it.
but it's a struggle, and I've been this way my entire life, which is why people are so like, what? Like when the job I'm in now, my training, we had to do, each person the last day of training had to do a presentation, and everyone was super nervous. And I'm a creator, so like we had these different topics, and everyone was going, and everyone was like, oh my God. And like I came out with MC Hammer Can't Touch This was my intro. I danced up to the platform. Like everyone was like, whoa. But by Friday, I was warmed up. On Monday, I was like, hi, I'm Jay. But by Friday, and everyone was like, I just thought you were quiet and you just weren't going to be. And here you are. And I cannot help it. I want to be better. I just don't know how.
But you don't have to change it, Jacquese.
No, I do. I want to walk in the room and not make people think I don't want to be here.
It's not that.
It
I
can.
don't feel that way.
You know me though.
I do.
You do.
But I don't feel that way.
But I am that way. Like the first time we have a mutual friend, Aisha. And I styled her, and the first time we met, she was late. Get Sis was like 30, 45 minutes late. And so I was like, Aquanetta. She was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm going to call her. And so Aisha came in the house and was like, hi, I'm Aisha. And I was like, hello. Please have a seat. Because you're already late and you got to be somewhere, which means that my time to get you looking good is wrapping up. So sit down and stop talking to me and let me do your makeup. And I didn't mean, like, it wasn't like I said that, but in my spirit, I was cussing her out. Because you done wasted my time, and it was early. Everyone knows I'm not an early riser. I'm up at 5 something in the morning to do you makeup and stuff. And you late. And then it was like, oh my God, I got to get there. You're going to sit down and take your time with me because you were late. But I was saying that inside. And I was just like, hi, I'm Jay. Thank you for allowing me to do your makeup. And she kept trying to
pull it out of you, because that's how I, in the disc personality, if any of you know the disc personality, that's how we are. We're gonna try to bring you along. It's gonna kill us, but we're gonna do it.
You gonna snatch me up out of it. By the end of the session, I was like, okay. And now we are so close.
Right.
But
it took you some
Lord
time.
had to do a good work that day, because I was like, girl, you in here doing all this talking. You late. It's early. I sacrificed for my sister for you. Sit down. But it was because now I know my agenda. Like, I'm very, so I know. And if you know Aisha, she's just going to be late.
We love you. We are actually going to go into, it's called Off the Dome segment.
Oh, this is where I live. Let's go.
Oh, this is going to be good. Okay. And I always say the question picks the person. So our Off the Dome segment is you're going to pick a card. I'm going to read the question. You're going to have 60 seconds to answer it.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm going to just let you pull it.
No.
Okay.
You need to pull it.
I'm ready.
Okay. What is the worst middle school memory, and what did you learn from it?
So, do you remember at school they used to do pet rallies? Yeah. I was like in these heels, these chunky heels, and I was like, I'm stunning today. It's a pet rally. Hey. And it was time to go back to class, and we were walking down the bleachers, and my heel got caught. I didn't realize, there were these little pipe type. My heel went in there. I took me and like 7 other people down. And it was like boom, boom, like, and we were coming like from the top, and we was like, I made it to the bottom first. So what I learned in that situation is sometimes you got to get up and go. So I got up and walked on out of there, and everybody else was on the floor, and everyone was like, what is happening? What's going on? I was not going to stay down. And I was not going to be embarrassed because you didn't know that I started it, but you definitely knew I was going to finish it first. And the entire, like, the band was like, because everything stopped. And I was like, how did that happen? And you know, like, your knees, like, nothing when you're laughing, your body gets weak. So I'm laughing because I know that I started this. And then everyone's falling. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm trying to be a part of the laughing crew when I was a part of the falling crew. I jumped up so, at that time I had good knees and a good back and a good body, okay? We were doing the thing in middle school, and I jumped up and got out of the gym, and everybody was like, what was that? And I kid you not, what I learned is get on up, girl. Don't stay down too long. And that's been my motto ever since. Get on up, girl.
Well, on that note, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for sharing something that you just received this week. It's new, and you're still trying to work through it, maneuver, and what that looks like for you. But it sounds like you're just like, you're getting the answers. You're going to figure it out. You're going to walk in faith. You're going to fall. You're going to get right back up.
Wow, okay, because you know this so for deep. I was like, you want me to roll?
I can't stand you. Mess. Okay. All right. Hope you enjoyed our show today. Keep the conversation going. Leave a comment and share with your friends. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, there's purpose in your story.